time to talk about a movie I hope to God I don't say the wrong things about. Yay! They Slash Them is a horror movie exclusive on Peacock taking place at a conversion camp for LGBTQ people. Yeah, people didn't seem to like the concept, and I'm sure many reviews were based on people who actually saw the movie, but many people feel like people just presume based on the awful trailer and the concept overall that this was without a doubt going to be bad. I don't think I watched the trailer, or at least I don't remember if I did, if before I saw the movie, but I went in knowing this wasn't that popular. I still wanted to have the mindset of, maybe it could be good. I wanted to give it an honest chance. I mean, the movie is written and directed by John Logan, a name that maybe not everyone knows, but he's not only huge in the Broadway scene, he's a 3-time Academy Award nominated writer for Gladiator, The Aviator, Hugo, and also worked on Sweeney Todd, Rango, Skyfall, etc. And maybe some bad things too. And this is his directorial debut, a Blumhouse-produced film exclusive to Peacock about LGBTQ people at a conversion camp. What could go wrong? Now, concerning topics involving the LGBT community in this movie, I am not one to proclaim what's right or wrong. Sure, I can say like some obvious stereotypes are in the movie, but I'm not going to pretend I know what it's like to feel like someone who has been through the experience of being at a conversion camp, nor am I an expert because I know people from the LGBTQ community, or if some of those people have been through uncomfortable situations because of their sexuality or gender or so forth and opened up about it. I am not one to pretend like I know what it's like because they open up about it. I'm not one to pretend like I'm an expert on this subject, nor should I pretend I know 100% what I'm talking about. I will not, and I hate people who pretend like they do because of it. I want to be fair in my thoughts about the movie, what it does right concerning this topic and the movie on its own. But I could be wrong about it, or at least what I'm talking about. Because, if I might be wrong, I appreciate people who will calmly explain to me about this stuff because I'm an honest moron and I want to know better. I just hope this gives you my mindset overall that I want to do my best to review this movie while still being whatever. Well, let's hope I don't say the wrong thing. So, with that said, what's the movie about? So, They Slash Them, as I said, follows a group of teen kids at a conversion camp. The camp is called Whistler Camp, run by Owen Whistler, played by Kevin Bacon, among the staff who proclaim to be friendly and understanding of them. But of course, they'll show their true colors later on. The group of teens include our main character, Jordan Lewis, played by Theo Germaine, who is trans and non-binary, as well as many other teens we learn more about. Kind of more on this later, and as the movie goes on. But it appears that maybe something isn't right here, because this movie makes a huge mistake. Oh, it's not, because you know what? You would think based on this premise it's a psychological thriller, based on how awful people can be, who would force these kids into uncomfortable situations to them hating them because, just based on prejudice or other reasons that may be personal or objective, whatever. But they'll be in these situations. I mean, that's kind of the movie half the time, but the other half of the movie is a horrible Friday the 13th knockoff. Great job. I shouldn't treat the movie like it's unaware of, it's a Friday the 13th knockoff. I mean, they make a character reference to Jason an hour and 5 minutes in. That just means it's clever and they're self-aware. I'm talking about the movie like it's a thing. Anyways, the movie opens like a generic slasher where, without spoiling it, it feels like a scene that should have been cut. Like, it doesn't match the tone, but also, I'll get into this also in a bit. But it could have been made, this movie, more of a surprise that it was a slasher film. Like, imagine they play off everything completely straight, and then maybe by the end of the movie, guys show up, and then the teens think of one of them could have done it after being pushed to their breaking point. But, no, that's not what happens. Randomly, and I mean randomly, the slasher killer just shows up since this movie is a tonal mess. Now, I want to say something positive about the movie. I think for the most part, the representation of the people in the LGBT community is well done, which could be attributed to the kid actors. Kevin Bacon's fine in this role. I mean, not bad, but his character, like the Airstyle members, is as one-dimensional as possible, where of course they're secretly creepy people. Why not? Of course that, ground creeper is a pervert. He's old. The kids are good actors. Theo Germaine is great, as this scene happens in theory that, while I don't know for sure how well or realistic someone would talk about this subject or be in their position, the expression on their face is in fantastic balancing, trying to hide the pain while still looking tough. It's really well done. My favorite actors and honestly characters in the movie are Anna Laura and Monique Kim, who are both from different places. Both of them face the same problem. and their romantic sparks just feel believable. They have great chemistry. They want to get to know each other better, and as they do, we guys do as well. I would love to work with these actresses one day if I do, become professional in the film industry. Both of them are really good here. When a movie tries to be realistic, it's honestly pretty daunting how they might not be able to get out of it. Like, yeah, I was a little creeped out a little. But when randomly the generic slasher killer shows up, the tone is completely different. I mean, it feels like it becomes the movie people think it would be from the trailers. A Friday the 13th knockoff at a conversion camp. In some ways, I almost thought, like, based on the trailer, it almost feels like they wanted to get a Friday the 13th movie, they couldn't get the rights, so they had someone say, okay, what if we did this for Camp Crystal Lake, and then we'll do some changes, and boom. Or maybe that's not the case at all. I actually only seen the first movie, which had Kevin Bacon in. See, this movie is also clever. It has Kevin Bacon from the original, which actually makes no sense because if Kevin Bacon's from the original, but they reference him as a thing in this universe. Oh my god, this is stupid. But this movie has so many scenes I really appreciate and respect and love. I mean, I love seeing these kids get along. While the tone is one problem, some of these kid actors were pretty generic. Like Toby and Stuart, who compared to Kim and Veronica, don't really have chemistry, nor did they, or the audience get to know each other better. It's sort of that kind of romance where it's like, well, they should be in together because they may have hold hands once. And I don't know, it's just weird because like Kim and Veronica are a well-developed couple, and these two aren't. So it's like, it feels like two different people wrote this movie. Comparing Kim and Veronica's relationship to theirs, it's like the reason how this movie feels like it shouldn't have just been one guy who wrote this movie. Honestly, the twist of the slasher movie character makes no sense. I read many people online who said they saw it coming a mile away, but honestly, I didn't think it makes sense since the killer's motivation would not work because I don't really see how it's more efficient than just revealing how sinister these kinds of camps are instead. I mean, okay, it's going to be hard to say this without, revealing spoilers, but, okay, look. How do I explain this? So, they say revealing evidence wouldn't work about, how this camp is, but it should. I mean, you have physical proof this camp is run by alpha people who don't really have their camera's best interest. And this is like halfway through the movie they get this proof. It shouldn't be this difficult, or let alone just walk away from this place. I know things are different now since then, and I have no idea what to say is realistic about treatment at conversion camps. But I know the slasher movie elements in this movie are awful. It's generic, it's stupid, it makes no sense, and it's honestly kind of an insult in some ways of... Okay, I don't want to say it's, like, offensive. I don't know. But the motivation almost feels like this wouldn't work. I don't know. Or no, because I don't want to say it doesn't work because it makes no sense. But here's the thing. I didn't hate the movie. I hate a lot of things about it, but as I said, I appreciate a lot of things too. While sometimes the writing is good, and other times it feels like people are just saying the same thing, which is, oh, I'm secretly sinister, and I'm going to do creepy things, or scary things, or whatever. And even the editing at times was pretty mature. Like, I want to say the kid actors do their best, and it is a little funny to see Kevin Bacon here. Which, yeah, whatever. But, which, okay, I already said this about, Friday the 13th continuity. Wait, did I even say the continuity? I only said the first movie. No, I was going to say, I just kind of like that he did in a movie like this. Like, it's not like he stayed away from horror movies. It's just, this kind of horror movie. The generic slasher movie that I wish more movies were like X, which did a great job exploring their subject matter. Like, how that would explore, religion, sexuality, age, that kind of stuff. And this movie could have been that too. It's not. This movie is honestly just, well, mediocre at best, but I don't think it's the worst. I get people who would hate this movie to death. They think it's one thing when it could be like 5 other things instead. Hell, I thought the Twister movie could have been something like... Alright, should I say it? Okay, so like, okay, it's a film called They/Them, where they themselves, where the counselors don't berate the kids due to religion and proclaim they just want the kids to figure themselves out first. And maybe by the end it was something more akin to like maybe a Get Out or a Fly twist and less like Friday the 13th or Sleepaway Camp. Is this going to make any sense? Because I don't want to say it if it sounds rude, but I mean, this is my review. Should I care what people think of me from what I say? But this isn't my review of the movie. This is me talking about time. Oh my god! This movie review. Okay. So, short review. I don't think this movie is horrendous. It's just mediocre. Take that. I give They Slash Them a 5 out of 10.